Welcome to Show and Talk. I'm sitting with Chris Burkmenn from the Chris Burkmenn Experience. Well, welcome. Thank you for coming to the show, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. See, I really like podcasts. We had to stop and start all over again. This is totally we're not formal at all here, so it was really cool. So we had to stop and start all over again. So this is why I like podcasts, because if you listen to Nerdist, they're just having a conversation, and then all of a sudden, we can hear them. And I enjoy that part. But I also kind of like being formal because you have the video, so it's a little weird to figure out exactly what to do.
So true.
So I'm going to ask you again, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm here in Nashville on this rainy day, but flowers need rain, so.
Exactly. Yeah, I was in California for a while, and we had a drought, and then it started raining right before I left, which they don't know how to drain their streets, so that was interesting, trying to walk. There were certain streets that I couldn't even cross because there were puddles everywhere. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I couldn't complain because they hadn't had rain for months. So it was really good, yeah.
Well, that's crazy because one time I was in Vegas and it just monsooned.
Oh, wow.
They don't have, I'm thinking California and Las Vegas are a little bit similar in their drainage.
Yeah.
And it was just, you were swimming to get where you needed to go.
The entire street was flooded pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's just insane. So.
Yeah, so I've got my rain boots on. You can't see them, but I love them. I might put a clip in.
They're yellow.
Yeah, I know. They make me feel like a superhero. I wanted to take them to LA, and I'm just because it was raining when I left Nashville, and I'm like, I'm not going to need these. And then I wish I had them.
You got
Yeah. So maybe next time I will take them with me. If nothing else, I'll just walk around like a superhero. I don't think it'll look that different. So
I think you should. I think everyone should have rain boots. I don't. I need to get some, but they just add coolness to you.
They do. They're one of my favorite purchases, and I get compliments on them all the time now.
And they're yellow.
I know, and they're Converse. They're actually the most comfortable Converse that I've ever worn. Yeah,
I didn't
all the other ones are
Converse
super flat. I don't think they do anymore because they made black ones, and when I saw them, I'm like, I don't really need two pairs of rain boots. I mean, you do, but I don't. But then I was thinking, and I do a lot of crew work, so I have to wear all black. And I'm like, this would be really good if I was outside in the doing a truck or something. I could wear my black rain boots. So I went to go get them, and I couldn't find them, and I can't find them anywhere now.
What happened?
I guess they just stopped making them, so I feel really special that I got these.
Yeah, that's crazy. Everyone needs rain boots. We should start a protest.
We should. Or we'll make our own.
I like that. Show and talk boots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have no idea how to make boots.
I don't. Wrong person here.
We'll figure it out. I've got a friend that wants to be a fashion designer, so I'll ask her to figure out how to make boots.
Perfect, yes. Yeah. Maybe she can make them and just take majority of or split it or something on the revenue or something.
Yeah, exactly. You put my logo on it, we'll put other little logos on it. And
like Ellen.
Yeah, yeah. Everything should be like Ellen.
I know, life should be like Ellen.
Speaking of Ellen, so you had your 25 days of Ellen.
I did.
How did that go?
Oh my goodness, it went so great. I really just got really into it and had a lot of new people traffic to my page and just commenting on how much they enjoyed it. And going home for the holidays made for things to talk about. People, what is this Ellen thing? Did you win? I didn't. You can't really win. I just started it myself.
Yeah.
And so when I was at home at Thanksgiving, my sister and my grandma and I were sitting around. We were watching, we were talking, and I said, "Grandma, have you ever seen the Ellen DeGeneres Lincoln commercial?" She said, "No, I have not." So we watched it, and we died laughing. And then I said, "Well, I would love to be on it." My sister brilliantly said, "You should do something where you can get on 25 Days of Ellen." And I was like, "Oh, that's brilliant!" And then she said, "You should call Ellen and video it." Yes, I'm doing it. So she just helped me so much, and Lauren Blacall was a huge help. She photoshopped all the photos because I don't do very well with Photoshop, but we had a vision, and I think it went really well. So.
Yeah, they're cool. They looked great.
Thank you.
It was obvious it was photoshopped only because I couldn't imagine you actually being in those places. But they looked amazing. If I hadn't known, I'm like, oh, hey, he's off everywhere. Just hanging
Some
out
were a little scary, and I wanted him to be unbelievable because when I get on Ellen, I want her to be. Whoa, these are bad. They're supposed to be. So it was a lot of fun.
Again, it'll give you something to talk about. So So, and it's kind of amazing how, like, social media in general has allowed for so many doors to open. Like, even, I don't know if you're familiar with the actor Stephen Amell. He plays Arrow on the show Arrow. But he's really big in social media and kind of talking with people. Like, he'll even, once a week, will have different memes and photos and stuff people have. Like, he puts them up. Like, they're amazing. And so one of the things, like, he just kind of talked and that he really wanted to be on, I think, Late Night with Seth Meyers. And so, obviously, he has a big fan base, and everyone's just kind of tweeting to Seth Meyers and say, hey, you should have Stephen Amell on the show. And so, like, 2 weeks later, he's booked to be on Seth Meyers.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just crazy, like, how social media allows these things to happen. And even with, like, TV shows, I remember when I got into Twitter, one of the big things that I did, the show Chuck was on. I'm a big nerd. So, but yeah, it was, like, season 1 of Chuck, and everyone was, like, trying to save Chuck. And so I'm like, well, you're going to create a Twitter account, and I'll try to save Chuck.
And it worked.
It did. Yeah, it lasted for 5 years.
That's
so
awesome.
All mostly because of social media and everything. So it's
Yeah.
just, it's awesome how, like, we're able to kind of do that now and get people to connect. And it's changing the way that people see, like, you've got the Nielsen ratings that are still out there and they're still kind of going with that. But I mean, web series, everything that's up there right now, like, it's just totally blowing up. So
It's so true, and it's crazy to think the impact that you can make on people through social media. I mean, there's so many people who you never even met before until you've been on Twitter.
yeah,
And they know all about you, you know? And I think it's really cool. Someone who I really look to for that source is Taylor Swift. She's just so connecting with her fans. There's no line that separates, you know, it's in between people. That's why she gets so many people loving her, because there's not that celebrity line, like, you can't talk to her because she's a celebrity, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, did you see the video of, like, the presents and stuff that she gave?
Yes.
So, yeah, it totally made me cry.
Oh.
And I think the best part about that is not even so much that she did all that for her fans, but that she was able to go online and, like, find out about them. Because everyone always, like, for celebrities, like, they'll talk about them. So, like, if I'm talking, or no one ever really talks about themselves, like, with celebrities. They're always kind of like, oh, what you do is so great, or I love it when you did this, or I love it when you did that, but they don't really have that personal connection. But she went out and got that personal connection. Like, she found out the stuff that people liked, what they didn't like, and didn't just say, oh, hey, here's a signed picture of my face.
Yes,
it was like,
exactly.
they're very personal gifts, and
Yes.
I thought that was the best part about it.
I did too, and I just wish, I think that there should be more people like that out in the world.
Yeah.
Especially in that platform. Because people that actually give back and care about people mean so much more than people that just care about themselves, you know, and not to name names, but I just think Taylor Swift does a really good job of keeping it, you know, friendly. You know,
Yeah.
that's the best thing I can think of, so.
Yeah, for sure. So I think there is going to be a big push toward that. Like, eventually people are not, I'm not going to say they're not going to be popular, like, they'll still be really good at what they do, but now instead of being in tabloids and stuff, like, the way to become the it person is going to be through social media and interacting with your fans.
Yes, and I just think it opens, social media opens a platform like never before, you know, and that's where viral videos get started. That's where it all starts in social media, I feel like now, and even actors are getting discovered on social media. It's just insane to even think the possibilities are endless and limitless.
So, very awesome.
Yes.
Cool. Let's talk about you a little bit, and
Okay.
we'll get your origin story.
I'm not used to talking about myself. I'm used to talking about others, so let's turn that off.
I
Turn
know.
that off.
It'll be a little weird, but I think you're the expert, so you should be okay on this.
Okay.
Yes. It's always weird whenever I do these interviews because, like, I go and will research the person that I have, so then it kind of feels like I'm partially stalking them right before I see them. It's just awkward all the time. But I'm going to talk about you anyway.
Okay.
So going back to just kind of like your theater background and everything there, like, what kind of got you to Nashville, like that whole journey that brought you here? Tell us a little about that.
Well, I moved to Nashville in June of 2009. I came to a place in my life where I thought, where do I want to go and what do I want to do? And Nashville kept popping up in my mind. And when I was a kid, I wanted to move to LA. So I thought, oh, move to LA. I had it all planned out. And then my parents were, no, that's not happening. You're moving to LA, it's too far away. So I said, okay. So my friend had moved to Nashville, and I thought, maybe I should visit. And so I visited, and I just really fell in love with the city. And the church that I go to now was a big part in me moving as well. And just felt so connected to the people and the life that they love. They love life, and I love people who love life, and I want to, I think it's just contagious. You want to be around those kind of people, and so when I moved, I knew one person. That was it, and I didn't even know really what I wanted to do. I knew I loved to act, and I thought, well, okay, I'm going to move here and I'm going to act. And my mom was just, everybody really. You're going to act in Nashville? It's just, well, I feel like I need to go. And that's the thing. That's the funny thing about dreams, is because people, they're going to question. They aren't going to understand. But I think if you truly believe in yourself and where you want to go, it doesn't matter what other people say. It only matters what you believe and what you know. And so that was kind of my journey. And, just started meeting people through random things that I would go to. And now I know a good amount of people. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, awesome. So with all the people kind of questioning your decision to move here, like, did it make it more difficult to move here, or did it kind of strengthen your desire to say, yes, I know this is where I need to be?
Well, I think it made it difficult because you felt like you were moving on your own, and you are, but I think it makes it more real when you're pretty much, I have to do this. I have to believe in myself because, people don't understand. I would call my mom and I'd call my dad and be struggling, just, I don't know what I'm doing. And they tried to be encouraging. They were very encouraging. I love my family, but they don't always understand what you're doing. And I think that's a hard part because I really am on my own,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you come from a creative background in your family?
I was very creative, kind of crazy creative. I wasn't very good at art, but I loved acting. And, even when I was a kid, my sister and I would just be silly. We would sing and just dance to random stuff. She loved NSYNC. I loved Destiny's Child. That was who I grew up with, and I just loved Beyonce. And so we would just be silly. And as I grew, I had other sisters, obviously, and they shared my passions. And so we would just put on little things, not for anyone to see, just random silly plays and stuff. But so I was very creative. My stepmom's a teacher, and so she's very supportive and she's very helpful, and that was always, she's just such a positive person in my life. And it's so funny because I was just talking about this the other day. I couldn't see my parents together, because there's just so much support in both places, and I'm very blessed to have two families on two different sides. So.
Well, so once you got to Nashville, then you got in with the audience company?
I did.
Cool.
I did.
Was that pretty much right away, or did you kind of wander around a bit and then get there?
Well, I'm a determined person. I'm a very determined person, and I think that is one word that describes me. When I was moving to Nashville, I emailed CMT, and I said, how can I go to the CMT Awards? And this woman emailed me back and said, we don't have a way for you to go, but if you contact this person, which is Mama Sue, my boss, you could go. And so I did, and I ended up going to CMT Award audition, and I met Suzanne, Mama Sue, and I said, no, she'll tell the story differently than I will, but it's completely true. I said to her, I looked at her and I said, my name's Chris, and I'm going to make it in this town. And she was overwhelmed because there's so many people around her, and I just thought that she needed to know, which she didn't even know me. And she just said, okay, all right, thank you, have a good day. So our paths crossed again, and we ended up hitting it off really well, even though I thought she did not like me, but she did, she really did, and she's been such an important person in my life as my boss, and definitely a mentor, for the industry, because she's just so smart. And I just owe a lot to her, and I'm very thankful for her. But how I really got hired on was we had a spot that needed to be filled, and she knew I needed work, and we were working for CMT Hot 20 Countdown. And so that's where I first got in regularly, and since then it's been just a dream.
Yeah, awesome. So you get to work with a lot of people that are kind of like yourself, like aspiring and coming up and just wanting to be surrounded by it. So
it's very cool, and I think it's such a Audco is such a great place to work for, and it's such a great place to be in Nashville because it provides people with opportunities. And I think your whole life you see these things on TV and you think, how can I be a part? And they help you to be a part, and it's not always paid, but it's fun, and especially if you want to meet people.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Now that you've been working in the industry a bit more, like, has it changed your opinion of what it was like before you came here?
It has. I think before I came here, I was very naive to the industry. I thought things just happened, and it taught me that, you know, they're real too. These artists are real. These actors are real. These people are real people, and they're working. And so, you know, it's intimidating to be around it because, you know, they are working. So you're just like biting your tongue because you don't want them to say that you know, take him away. You know, so. But they're real, so that's the most because I used to be just completely in love with Kelly Clarkson, just infatuated, and then I was around her, and she's a great person, a really wonderful person, but you know, she's real, and I need to understand that.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of just like celebrity in general, and kind of one of the things that, because I've worked with a lot of people just kind of growing up, just been surrounded by that, so it's always really interesting to see, one, like how fans interact with people that I consider friends, and then also just how my friends interact, like when they're with me and other friends versus when they have to be with fans. And I think it's exhausting for both parties because you put people on like such a high pedestal, and then if you have that one opportunity to meet them, then for a lot of people, like it totally crushes them because they put that up there. But then there's so much pressure on the people like to perform and be on their best behavior at all times, so like they can't really be a person. So I think it's a really difficult thing, but
Oh, definitely. And you know, I think when because I mean, I even believe it, when you meet your favorite artist or your favorite person, you think, when I meet them, that's going to be the best, and we're going to instantly be friends, and we're going to call each other, and we're going to talk and laugh, but it just doesn't work like that, you know. I mean, not to crush anyone's dreams, but sometimes it does. I mean, if you're Taylor Swift, it does.